Well, let's return again to the politics of all this. A little earlier, I spoke to the leader of the Scottish Conservatives, Ruth Davidson, and I put it to her that after her recent performance in that referendum debate, some might think she's the best candidate for Conservative Prime Minister.
I hope very much that I can be the best leader of the opposition here in Scotland right now. There are significant issues facing Scotland. We saw within hours of the vote coming through on Friday morning, we saw the First Minister, who admitted that there were lots of questions to answer before she waited for any of those answers, telling the nation and indeed the world that she'd already instructed Scottish Government officials to draft legislation for a second independence referendum.
Well, Nicola Sturgeon today has also said that it might well be in Scotland's interest for her to instruct her MSPs to vote against a bill to allow the whole of the United Kingdom to leave the European Union, effectively blocking the whole thing going forward. Isn't that something that you could possibly agree with? That it would indeed be in Scotland's best interest to block this?
Well, my advice is strongly telling me that the way in which that is worded doesn't actually allow for that to happen. Now, we're going to have a statement from the First Minister in Parliament on Tuesday. I'll be asking very strongly from the Scottish Government what legal advice they have to back up that claim that the First Minister has made today on television, because all the advice that I have says that it's actually not true.
But isn't the principle of trying to block this in Scotland's best interest?
This was something that was taken to the electorate of this country. 17 million people voted in a way that I didn't support, but that I have to recognise.
What's very interesting is that you're not saying that you will definitely vote it through, either.
Well, look, you go and get Nicola Sturgeon on, and you ask her what legal advice that she's received that says that this is even possible, because the legal advice that I have is that it is not possible. What
is your view in terms of the UK leadership now, of the Conservative Party, of Boris Johnson? I mean, you were very brutal with him in that final debate. You accused him of lying, effectively. Do you think he could be a credible Prime Minister?
If I could just correct you there, I said that the campaign was founded on lies, and I listed three of them. The £350 million per week, the fact that Turkey was about to enter and there'd be lots of people from Turkey massing at our borders, and the idea that the UK army is going to be subsumed within an EU army. I at no point made any suggestion about Boris Johnson, the person, and I think it was very clear for anyone that watched that debate that I don't attack personalities.
No.
I put forward points and I attack issues, and these were the issues at which I was speaking against because I did not believe them to be true.
I'm not saying it was a personal attack. I'm saying you made it very clear that what he was arguing was, in your view, a pack of lies. I'm saying to you, do you think that man could be Prime Minister?
Well, look, I've already told you that my job and my duty as one of the only three leaders that we have within the Conservative Party at this time is to keep my powder dry and to make sure I see all of the candidates that come forward for the leadership of this party before I explain my reasoning for believing who I think will be the best Prime Minister.
And just finally, is there any way, do you think, of stopping this? People are talking about a snap general election, a second referendum, blocking it in Scotland. Do you think this can be stopped at all, or has it just happened and we've all got to just accept it?
Well, I think when you take a significant decision to the country and you have it not as a parliamentary vote, which you can, recall Parliament and vote against, but if you take it to a plebiscite, to a direct democracy of a referendum, I think that there are real issues of then ignoring the result that people give you. Now, it's not a result I wanted, it's not a result I agreed with, but I think there are deep and fundamental questions of our democracy if we decide that we reverse something that was, run in this way.